What up, gamers? Today we're gonna talk about Dual Blade, and I've played a bunch now, and I basically cleared the entire game with this build specifically, and even solo tempered arc welds are pretty easy with this build. Let's get into it. But first of all, let's look at my equipment skills. Let's go through that very quickly. I spec a lot into sharpness, dragon attack with critical element, crazy scaling, constitution marathon runner, basically just a dual blade thing. And then maxed out burst and evade window, also dual blade, with antivirus and weakness exploit. That's kind of the core of this build, is this Gore Magala set. I'll show you that right now in my little tent. Basically, what I'm running is an Artian weapon. I'll explain that in a second. With the Guardian Odogaron helmet and 4-piece Gore Magala, which gives you a crazy set effect that is kind of hard to explain, and you can't even show it in the training area, so I'll show it to you now in combination with the antivirus. With the antivirus itself, the equipment effect is basically a affinity buff whenever you get cured by frenzy. Okay, let's see if I can find like some random mob. Here we go. First of all, let's look at my stats before I do anything. So that would be 288 attack, 30% affinity, 408 element. As you can see, I entered combat, and at the top left, you see a little purple icon with a bar. That is Frenzy, and that's what we need to cure to get the bonuses. The way you cure this bonus is simply by attacking a mob or boss. So but that's what we're doing right now. I'm attacking, just to get as much curing done as possible. And as you can see now, at the top left is a little tree now instead of the purple icon. Let's see what that actually looks like in the stat window with the burst up and everything. 335, 55, and 528. That's a pretty big increase, not only in affinity but also elemental damage in combination with burst, antivirus, and the set. That's a lot. And we can go even crazier with the corrupted mantle if this guy doesn't run me over. Which is that, like, the amount of crit that you can get just from these things is absolutely insane. That's what I'm gonna show real quick. Let's proc it fully. Should be proc now. 85%, 424, and 528. But this wasn't really in order, was it? 424, 85 to 528. So a massive increase in my stats, especially with Corrupted Mantle. On top of level 2 weakness exploit, I can get to almost 100% crit rate with crazy attack and crazy elemental attack. And the only reason this works is because of the weapon and all of the decorations that I have. So as you can see, my weapon has 3 sockets with level 3 for level 3 decorations. And on top of that, it's insanely high base as well. So it has 280 attack, 30% affinity, and 290 dragon damage baseline. Sounds crazy, because it is. I'll show you real quick what an Artian weapon is and why. Like, I don't really know why it's that fucking crazy, but it's by far the best weapon you can make in Monster Hunter for basically anything, but especially so for elemental weapons. You have to go to the smithy and go to forge Artian weapons, in my case dual blades, and then you need to craft it here. It's very easy, actually. What you want to do is, if you wanted to have a specific element, you just stack that 3 times. The other interesting thing is the Artian bonus, which gives you either attack or an affinity infusion. So let's say we're going for fire here. There's an attack infusion, gives me 7 attack. If I wanted affinity, it would give me 5% affinity instead, but we will take attack again because it's fire again. And as you can see now, the element shows up. And on the third one, we go attack infusion again. And since we stacked fire 3 times, it's now 270 fire damage. Now, what happens is, you forge this, costs a little bit of money. Obviously, the rarity matters as well, so I wouldn't recommend crafting anything below 8 rarity. And then you crafted your weapon. The interesting part is you can also reinforce it, which makes for a crazy experience. Something. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, you can level this 5 times, and each level gives you one of those stats that I just showed you earlier, including an element stat. So for example, 1 affinity infusion gives 5 affinity, and 1 attack infusion gives you 7 attack, right? And then there's also an element infusion, which I think gives you 20 element or something. And this happens 5 times. For each level, one of those stats will be added again. on random though. So you need to be a little bit lucky depending on what you want. In my case, on my main weapon, I got 3 affinity, RNG, level ups, 1 attack and 1 element, and I had 2 affinities and 1 attack on the craft itself. That's why it has 280 attack and 30 affinity with 290 dragon. There's a little bit of RNG to this, and there's a lot of grinding to get the specific crafting materials that you want. Maybe you just want to stack crit or affinity in this case, or you just want to stack attack and you want to find the specific materials. Each weapon is, by the way, a little bit different, but generally, this is what you want to farm. And endgame, like when you do 8-star missions, like Tempered Arc Welds, or I think even 7-star sometimes, give you these high-level materials, and then you can craft your weapon of choice. Could be a paralysis weapon, could be a dragon element weapon, could be whatever you want. You can customize it whichever way you want, and then you're a little bit at the mercy of RNG at the end. And this is the only way my build works, because otherwise I wouldn't have enough crit to make it happen. I would need more weakness exploit. But because my weapon is so high crit and so high element on baseline already, I can, you know, this is the craziest setup you can have for dual blades, because you'll never run out of stamina. You have crazy evade window, and you have insane sharpness and damage at the same time. So I think you can't really go higher than this on damage. And yeah, this is what I came up with after a while of soloing the endgame and even doing some Tempered Arc Weld solo. I think this build is the highest damage output you can have. The only suggestion I have, if you're not super comfortable with endgame and, well, endgame bosses in general, I would actually swap out the Corrupted Mantle and just get one of these other ones, because they're much safer. But for highest damage output, Corrupted Mantle is clearly the best option. So yeah, Chain Charm as well, maybe I didn't say that yet. To get full burst, I have the Odogaron helmet, 1 decoration here, and the Chain Charm as well. Weakness exploit and some other smaller things like, you know, stamina management and dodge stuff is in here. It's pretty simple build, but it's incredibly effective, and I think you can use this for basically any weapon, even if it's not dual blade. These Artian weapons open up a lot of build options. This one specifically for elemental damage, I think, is basically unbeatable. If you want to stack elemental damage, there's not much more you can do, I think. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope that helped. Good luck on your end game hunts, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.